I'd like to welcome you to the September 16th, 2025 meeting of the Logan Municipal Council. It is a custom that we started a while ago to ask candidates to do opening or make 3-minute statements. And this evening we have asked one of the two candidates for mayor to do our opening, and we will be timing the opening for 3 minutes. We will also time the candidate statements for 3 minutes that occur later on in the agenda. I will turn the time over now to Alana, and then when you are finished, if you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Hello, my name's Alana Naxiger, and I'm running for mayor to represent the people of Logan City. I'm happy to be with you all here this evening, and thank you to Chairperson Simmons for inviting me. Growing up in Cache Valley as a middle child with 4 siblings in the energetic environment that a large, close-knit family brings, I learned the importance of listening and being heard. I learned that given time and patience, there's a place for all voices to be valued. At 19, I again learned the value of listening after becoming sick and losing 40% of my hearing in both ears. I needed hearing aids to continue communicating effectively with the world around me and stopped taking the ability to listen for granted. Later, earning a master's degree in landscape architecture and environmental planning, the value of professional listening became key. Going beyond the technical skills in urban planning and design, I learned the strong listening skills are fundamental in leading conflict negotiation and working towards a common goal and a common good. These days, I'm going to events, knocking on doors, and meeting a lot of people throughout our community. Many people I meet are worried and frustrated because they feel their input is often ignored, and when it comes to decisions that use their tax dollars and impact their daily lives, the vision for the city fails to include many community needs, like the need for green spaces and parks and dense development, affordable housing, mature trees, including the iconic beauties on Canyon Road, access to a healthy Logan and Little Logan River, a community rec center, and a reduced dependence on fossil fuels. Instead, residents are forced to subsidize expensive, divisive projects that support the type of development we don't want. And let me be clear, this is not just frustrating for the public, but also city officials, many of whom are working hard and whose work often goes unacknowledged. Ultimately, it is a broken process, not an individual fault. Heavy-handed and top-down decision-making is not healthy for a community, and we all deserve better. I'm running for mayor because I believe that what our community needs most is meaningful public engagement, the kind that brings people with different perspectives together, providing a forum for civil discussions that result in creative solutions, empowering the community to be heard and their needs to be met. I believe Logan should be a leader, providing an example of excellence for other municipalities and securing an exceptional quality of life for current and future generations. Thinking outside the box in these difficult times, we can create a collective legacy based on integrity and respect for each other, protecting the beautiful place we call home, and stewardship of our finite natural resources. I would be honored to have your vote this November. Now please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Alana, thank you. We will move now to the acceptance of the minutes and the approval of the agenda for this evening.
I would move acceptance of the minutes and approval of tonight's agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our 2025 regular meeting schedule is the first and the third Tuesdays in this very room at 5:30 p.m. We are also on YouTube if you care to just watch us, because we're so much fun. This time is an opportunity for individuals who have questions or comments for the mayor and council. We appreciate hearing from you. We will often not address the comments directly when you make them, but we will send them to a staff member who can help answer those questions for you. We do ask that you do not make questions or comments on anything that is related to any other item on the agenda. If you will step forward, state your name, where you live, and take 3 minutes or less.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Janicki. I live in North Logan, and I'd like to talk about in preserving and enhancing the Little Logan River. And I'm an emeritus faculty member, and I want to talk about the water flowing through the Little Logan River through our community for 5.3 miles. In a river that the public owns, we own the water in the river, we own the land under the river, and I'm concerned that our rights, the public legal rights to recreation, environmental benefits, and aquatic species, as long as vested water rights are not impaired, are not being honored enough. This is in Utah Code 7329-3, provides this protection for the river. And the river's been managed as if it were a canal for many decades, even though there's almost 10 different kinds of evidence that show it's a river, including its meandering geometry. And every deed along the river says that the people own land next to the river. So either those documents are fraudulent or it's not really a river. I had hoped to have a paper copy, so this is a little bit hard to read here. We're concerned that future generations may not have a healthy river to enjoy. So at the last market, I did a survey and I asked the public what they thought about how much water should be left in the river for it to be healthy. And we know that the Logan River Watershed Project proposes to leave 0 to 10 cubic feet per second of water in the river, and most of us don't know what that is. So I went tubing in the river next to a river gauge to figure out what that is, and then I discovered that in the fairgrounds I ran aground at 8 or 9 cubic feet per second, so I estimate that an adult weighing 140 pounds would need 15 cubic feet per second. I had some test subjects, some little kids in Merlin Olsen Park, helped me, and we figured out that little kids probably need about 5 cubic feet per second. And then at the park, I asked people, at the Gardener's Market, how much water would people like to have left in the river for it to be healthy and honor our benefits for recreation and so on. 5, 15, a kid, preteen, adult tubing units. And I was shocked. Only 4 people thought anything in my category was good enough. Half the group scrapped my poll and said more water needs to be left in the river. Most people wanted to see the fish return, which means that water in the wintertime needs to be restored. And there were only 4 people that voted for anything in the range that the Logan River Watershed Project would allow. So I would urge the city, which owns the land under the river, to please advocate for the community, the public, our, our rights of recreation. And we need to balance the water rights and the public rights as this law 7329-3 indicates, and it feels like the water rights of water holders are being preferred in this effort.
Thank you.
My name is Gail Hansen, and I don't know if you know that on the back of the agenda, there's this italicized part, and item C says outbursts, including cheers, jeers, noisemakers, and applause are not appropriate, and I like this part, as they may discourage those with opposing views from speaking. Kind of switching topics, but it's in the same general area. I remember the days after September 11th. I remember the shock, but mostly I remember our community. I asked all the Muslims I know what happened to them after September 11th in this community. And Hamid, who most of us know, said that the thing that changed for him was that everybody was checking on him to make sure he was okay. And Fayez's mom, who is the other Muslim that I knew, said the same thing happened to her. At our September 11th commemoration last week, Mr. Frankie took note of how this community rallied and embraced and made room for people of opposing backgrounds. And I thought I was like, Cache Valley is really special. But that is not quite true. I have a friend who travels widely, and she said that when she went to New York City after September 11th, New York City was kinder and checking on their Muslim neighbors. And my friend Lance, who I've never met, said that the people that he worked with in New York City, the people that he did business with, the people that he hung out with, were concerned about their well-being of their Muslim neighbors. 24 years have passed, and we have lost that ability to say that whatever group you belong to, if you have a member of your group that did something horrendous, we know that you did not do it. We need to open up to our community. We need to realize that if you have a different political view, it doesn't make you less, and it doesn't make you cruel, and it doesn't make you violent. It makes you American. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail.
Patrick Valmont, I live in Logan. I was speaking with an inspiring person today from Pocatello. They've been working hard for years to establish the Southeast Idaho Energy and Property Alliance, called SEPA. It's a coalition of landowners, farmers, ranchers, and community members who are bridging across the highly polarized political landscape to support responsible, well-sited renewable energy projects that bring in new personal and tax revenue, good jobs, stronger power grid, all while preserving their region's rural character. It's a really inspiring story. These are people who are really bringing community together, to have hard conversations, to move forward with pragmatic solutions. And it's nice to see examples of that are still possible. One of the solutions that SEPA is pursuing is agrivoltaic. So this is where you're integrating solar panels within an existing farm operation so that solar panels and crops can coexist. And there's lots of benefits to this, including shading the crops during certain times. Uses less water. There's less evaporation from crops that are being shaded. And in some cases, farmers are even seeing increases in yields. Really importantly, it's also reliable income for a lot of farmers. Can help kind of even things out in years where the crops are not doing as well. There are experts right here at USU in agrivoltaics. You know, it's hard for me because these are the options that we passed up on when you really hastily signed the 2 contracts, long-term contracts for fossil fuel plants. We can still do some of these, and I hope that we do, but you've limited our options. I'd like you to reflect on a couple of questions. How do you think these people who have been putting in all that work to create a cleaner atmosphere up in Pocatello feel about the fact that Logan decided to build a power plant right outside their city? Why is their air expendable? The American Lung Association has shown that these emissions from these plants cause cancer, increased asthma, respiratory illness, and premature death. What would you say if Pocatello decided to build a fossil fuel power plant here? Thank you.
My name's Todd Johnson. I reside at 290 South, 400 West, Logan, Utah. Thanks for allowing me to speak. I'm here to speak on behalf of the community and provide some comments and support for our approach to buffers on major navigable waters of the Logan River, its north and south branches. I have 40 years of experience working with towns and cities and developers to plan, design, and protect greenways and open space systems that provide extraordinary benefits to our community's developments and their natural systems. These comments are made out of respect for the plans and laws of our city and our council and the sincere efforts of our planning department to sustain Logan as the unique city that it is. We all share that the guiding principles for your departments and governing bodies have a common objective to protect our health, safety, and welfare. So a view of myself and a number of people in the community, and I wouldn't doubt some of the people in the planning department and some of you, is that the river and its tributaries are the green stripes of our community, and that these greenways are a priceless community asset. The greenways include native vegetation, tree canopy, and provide flood protection, shade, places for birds and animals, and places for our young people to play. Once our assets are diminished, removed, or paved over, they are nearly impossible to regain. Talk to people in Salt Lake City who are now trying to fund the uncovering of their canyons connecting to the Jordan River. The cost to recover our current assets will be enormous. They simply will be lost. The visual presence of our greenways is part of our shared memory and the identity of Logan. Water, so critical to our history and future, is filtered by soaking into the ground, nourishing the plants, and feeding the river in a natural way. While adjoining properties enjoy enhanced economic and aesthetic value of our greenways, those economic benefits are shared by adjoining properties, the neighborhoods, and the city as a whole. Proof of these community values in Logan is most evident in our trails and our willows and our cottonwoods near the Logan River Golf Course and our neighborhood called the Island. The physical connection of Logan's neighborhoods via these greenways includes our interconnecting trail system, is what creates our significant community value. These are the envy of all towns and cities in the arid West. So a statement here, any break in the interconnected system or reduction of our greenways dimensions will result in a corresponding loss of our community benefits. Reduce our greenway dimensions by 50% results in 50% reduction of value across all of those categories. Less shade, less visual presence, less habitat, less flood protection, less sponge, and nearly impossible to recover our current and future value. This is why people move from starter home developments to bedroom communities, because they paved over their natural and rural assets. Logan could just become another featureless, overheated city without the character that we currently enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Of course there is. Josh Muller of Logan. So, pretty crazy week we've had here going on here in Utah. We ended up losing Robert Redford yesterday. So, I mean, Rip Robert Redford. Anyway, I wanted to talk about a sign I saw with the river crossing townhomes, and you know, it's you know, for sorry, gotta slow down. For the emergency responders, so that they don't have to travel, you know, what was it? I think it was 30 miles out of town just to, you know, to be here. Great project. I like it a lot. But I think it's really, the sign on it, I mean, I'm not sure where they got this, ending poverty. I think it's a false advertisement that they put up there, because, you know, what the project's for is for helping our emergency responders so that they can afford to live in Logan. It's not necessarily ending poverty, all right? If we wanted to end poverty, you know, that's a much harder thing to do than just putting up 8 townhomes. if we wanted to end poverty, we wouldn't be linking up with a company that actually helped contribute to the housing problem in the first place. So I think that maybe actually, you know, telling the truth behind that project of what it's for, so that way the public knows, you know, that the city actually cares for its emergency responders, and that's what we're doing. Not this generalization, false narrative of ending poverty. So, thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
I just need to recover this.
Seeing no one, we'll move on to the next item in our agenda. And I don't believe we have any mayor or staff reports because we don't have a mayor.
Not present. We do have a mayor. She's just not present.
We don't have her present. We don't have her right now.
An acting mayor.
So we'll move on to council business. Planning Commission update. One of the items that we will be talking about from Planning Commission, I didn't read Russ's note. He always writes me a note so I can remember exactly what we talked about. There are several code amendments that will be coming forward that adjust some things as we do off and on over the course of time. And other than that, I know there was one short-term rental, but, and I think that's all. Most of what they talked about were the changes in the ordinances, which will come to this body if they're recommended to move forward. We also talk about our board and committee reports, and this meeting, Councilmember Mark Anderson and I are due to report. I'm going to let Mark go first.
You don't want to go first?
Oh, I can go first. I'm fine.
That's fine. Met with golf board, and they ended with a positive year-to-date, which was very encouraging.
Really?
Yes.
Because
So
they weren't there a few years ago.
they weren't. And with the little bit of extra money they have left over, they're going to try and do some capital improvements with some cart paths and update the driving range and change a few things there. So
Oh, good. How are they coming on the irrigation system?
that's a great question. We did not discuss that in the last meeting. But
Okay.
I think it's coming along. So, yeah, it was exciting to see positive results and some great ideas for using that little bit of extra that they've got for some capital improvements that were necessary. Also met with Light and Power Board. Also ended the year significantly under budget because of favorable market and I would say good execution of purchases. And so they're going to use that extra to build reserves back. Isn't that correct, Rich? Which will be really nice because we've had to spend some of that. They also discussed 2 renewable energy projects that are coming in the very near future. And they are going to be pushed forward very quickly also because of transmission study. And so we'll probably see those in the very near future come to us. Yeah. So, 2 good projects. Also participated in the 9/11 Stair Challenge at Maverick Stadium.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
That was great. Yeah.
Were you fully?
I did not wear the full gear and turnouts.
Okay.
It's significantly challenging enough without.
I bet.
2,170 steps. Chief?
And if they have the full gear on, how much extra weight is that?
About 40 to 60 pounds. Yeah.
40 to 60 extra pounds?
40 to 60 extra pounds.
Okay.
So the recruits or potential recruits from Bridgeland got to do it the hard way, and they were significantly slower than everyone else.
And Jeannie,
I'd
it
still be-
happens every September 11th.
I know, but I was like,
And so,
it just went right out of my head. I'm
And
sorry.
I wasn't able to attend this year, but the recruits end up carrying a ton of extra weight,
yeah.
which is why they're slower. They're not slower because
No, they're not.
they're slower because they're carrying an extra
They're not
50
in shape.
pounds.
It's not because they're not in shape. It's
Yeah.
because they're carrying an extra.
They carry all the extra gear.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So everyone else is going up and down the stairs, and they're literally sweating buckets because of how strenuous it is, so.
Surprisingly, those fireman suits
It
don't
was-
breathe very
It
well.
was a really moving experience. I mean, the videos, the fire department does a great job putting them together, and they've got videos, and they've got a little ceremony, and it's a really great experience. I would highly recommend it, and there's a lot of students that participate. A lot of USU students are there, so it's a really great event, and thank you for letting me come to this. It's great. Also participated in the steering committee for the Cache County Recreation Center study, and they're doing a really great job. I can't say enough about the firm that's doing the study, and they're really coming up with some great ideas. They've done a great job reaching out to the community and getting as much data as possible. They have identified pretty much all of our immediate needs and our needs for the next 10 to 20 years. They're able to forecast that, and they're probably going to be bringing 3 possible scenarios to the public here in the near future. So they'll bring all the data and some of the scenarios that they've put together in the very near future. They want to get more public input before they move forward. So there's some pretty exciting things happening there with the County Recreation Center. So it's a great committee to be part of, and seen some really good work done there. And then historic preservation in the last month had 2 projects. But what I thought was interesting is, one, I've heard from a number of people, they thought that was the best presentation they'd ever received at the historic preservation. So I talked to the owner, and he said they also spent probably the most money of any other presentation, inadvertently. So.
Well, they aren't done yet.
They said if everyone would bring that kind of presentation, they'd be so excited. I don't think everyone can afford to pay that much, so, but they loved it, so it was accepted enthusiastically. So I think those are all the committees I'm going to share today. So.
Okay, well, I also went to Historic Preservation, and it was a wonderful presentation. Al's Trophies, that people have known forever, has been sold to another couple, and they're going to redo the facade and redo the back on the parking lot side, and they're going to bring the facade back to more like it used to be. And I think I felt the energy that people are feeling. We talked when the mayor came in to be the mayor 8 years ago. She and I had a conversation, and I gave her a poster, the 12 items for a great downtown. And one of those items was do 1 block, make 1 block wonderful. And so that's how Center Street got started. And the theory behind that is that if you start with 1 block, it will start to grow, and it will grow throughout. That level of enthusiasm will grow throughout. And what you've seen from there is the Eccles Theater has done some upgrades. That's south of Center Street, and now this property is going to upgrade, and that's north on First North. So it's very exciting to see that concept come to fruition in a wider spans. I, of course, with the rest of us, did the election canvass that we talked about last meeting. I had a meeting with the Water Board. I am a member of that board. It's a board that talks about various and sundry projects and issues that are facing the water resource community in Logan, Utah. I had the opportunity in another task. I'm a member of the Cache Water District Board, and we have been doing tours of the Bear River Basin for the last several years, and some of them I can get very excited about talking about. But the last one we finished up this year, and we did Cache Valley. And so it was interesting to begin to understand how the waterways in the valley help the valley stay the way it is, and help the farmers, and the measuring things that are going on that Bethany Nielsen and the Utah Water Lab are working on that are so critically important to that resource, and both keeping it and utilizing it to its best advantage for the people who have water shares. So it was a day-long event. I said I was on a bus all day and never left Cache Valley. So it was kind of fun. I attend Planning Commission, which you hear about every meeting. I was also appointed to the State Water Quality Board. And so I have attended several meetings, and they get more complicated rather than less complicated. But we are the agency, we are the group that funds large water projects. It is to that group that we appealed when we built the sewer treatment plant. And there are projects in Cache Valley, there are 3 projects right now that are in front of the board requesting funding. So it's been really interesting to learn about how those resources are developed and how the state impacts that over time. I'm also a member of the Cache Metropolitan Planning Organization, where we talk about the future of roads and how we're going to develop roads so that we don't have as much traffic on one road. So we talk about bypasses to the west. We work with the Utah Department of Transportation. And there are only 3 metropolitan planning organizations in the state of Utah. And it's based on population, and so it's a wonderful opportunity for us to get some extra state money and have opportunities to access some federal money to help us with our transportation planning. And with respect to my Water Quality Board assignment, I was able to help our Tyler and help with a recertification process that's going on for our water treatment plant with respect to effluent levels. I know you all know what that is. I barely know. I attended the Logan High School Youth Council rally event where they collected signatures of people who would like to be a part of the Logan Youth Council, and based on the numbers that we received, I hope we have a robust group of folks. And thanks to Ernesto for spearheading that, and every one of them said, "Oh, we love Ernesto." So I also attended yesterday the appeals board. Every once in a while, our planning commission will make a decision that someone wants to challenge, or somehow, and the appeals board is a group of individuals that meets and reviews the pros and cons of what happened and decides whether the city acted responsibly, with integrity, and without bias. And then if indeed they do side with the city, and the individuals who would disagree, they can then go on to district court if they care to. So that's the next round of that. So that's all I've got to report. That's a lot, I guess. We'll move now. We have asked the council candidates to come and give us a 3-minute presentation on their candidacy. We will time them, like I said, and I decided that we would have them in order that they appear on the ballot. So that's how they're going to come up. So I will ask Brian Siemens if he would come up first and share with us his reasons for running for council.
I thought I'd introduce myself first, even though she just said my name's Brian Siemens. I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you, first of all, for your time. It's, I know it's not the greatest job in the world, but would it even rank? I don't even know if it would rank.
I like it.
I said, I think so.
I do it because I'm intrigued by the policy part, but not necessarily anyway. I'm from Cache Valley, just to introduce myself a little bit. I'm from Cache Valley. I grew up in Hyde Park. I graduated from Mount Crest. So technically, I can choose who I want to cheer for at any football game in the Valley. I studied economics at Utah State. For those of you, a lot of people don't know what economics really is. I mean, we hear it a lot, but really it is the study of choices, and that's what I wanted to talk just a little bit about later. I met my wife there. We have 3 sons, 21, 19, and 7 years old. The 7-year-old was planned, and the 21-year-old wasn't. So,
I like that.
my advice to you would be to have them a little closer together. Now that we've learned that. Anyway, I'm running on, I think, I'm worried, some of the things I'm most worried about my sons and my boys is they want to live here in Cache Valley, but life has become so unaffordable as well as housing, and I don't think that's necessarily unique to Cache Valley. But it's something that I have a unique perspective on because I'm a builder now, and I spend a lot of time in building. I wanted to share this story, this quick story. An old developer friend shared with me this experience he had, and this has been about 15 years ago he shared this. He said, you know, Brian, my first development, so this had to have been in the 50s or the 60s. He said, you know, my first development, I went in and I sat down with the mayor and I said, Mayor, I have this piece of land I want to develop and I want to put houses there. And the mayor said, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Here, and he pulled out an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and he says, show me what you want to do. So they sat down and they sketched it out and they figured out where they wanted the roads to tie in the sewer and the water, and they were finished within an hour. And the mayor said, I really like it. Why don't you go get started? Oh, and we have a backhoe if you'd like to use it. So in under an hour, my friend was building houses or on his way to building houses and working on a development. Back then, housing was, the average house was less than $50,000. Now it's, I'm not sure you can get a new one for under $5 now. And I just wanted to make the point, and it's important to me in this campaign, that inflation and interest aren't the only things driving the cost of living. What we do here drives the cost of living, and I wanted to work on that.
Thank you, Brian. Katie Lee Coben is up next.
You don't look like Katie.
So
I was gonna
obviously,
say
I'm not Katie Lee Coven, but she had an unavoidable conflict tonight, and so had asked if someone from Logan City Council could read her statement for her, so on Katie's behalf. Katie Lee Coven wants to help preserve the parts of Logan we cherish and improve areas where we fall short. With her experience as an executive director and her service on various city committees over the past few years, she is well prepared and informed to take on this role and make a positive difference. Some of the issues she cares about include supporting affordable and diverse housing, working with USU to create more student housing, small business development, ensuring fiscal responsibility and transparency, improving communication with residents, and backing a new multi-purpose indoor recreation and community center in collaboration with Cache County. She also wants to ensure our water and energy resources are sustainable for future generations, continue working on downtown improvements, including Main Street traffic management, and develop a strategic plan for cultural programs. Katie served as chair of the Hillcrest Neighborhood Council for the past 4 years, is a founding member of the Public Art Committee for the City of Logan, and a member of the Logan General Plan Steering Committee. In these roles, she has helped improve communication about city-related projects and has advocated for citizens on issues such as development and recreation. Professionally, Katie serves as the executive director at the Nora Eccles Harrison Museum of Art at Utah State University. She is a recognized leader who has managed 2 multi-million-dollar capital campaigns, expanded community and K-12 engagement to serve every school in Logan and Cache school districts, and created a welcoming museum space for all. She is married to Mark Lee Coven, a professor at USU, and has a daughter enrolled in the Logan City School District. In closing, while Katie has a lot of experience she brings to this role, she is not an expert on all areas that the council is responsible for, and she wants to hear from citizens and the experts so that we come up with the best solutions. She appreciates everyone who is here tonight, demonstrating your commitment to the future of Logan, and hopes to serve on Logan City Council for you. Submitted by Katie Lee Coven.
Thank you, Amy. Ernesto.
Hi, my name is Ernesto Lopez, and I've lived here in Logan for over 25 years now. I moved from Mexico when I was only 15, and I'm a first-generation college graduate. And today I live in Logan with my wife and 2 kids, and I'm deeply invested in the long-term well-being of our community. I work for USU, USU Extension to be specific, and I lead the online programs initiative helping thousands of Utahns gain access to educational opportunities that improve their lives and communities. Prior to working for USU, I served for River Head Start for over 10 years as their parent involvement specialist. And I also worked for an international franchisor, ChemDry, in case that you know of them. They're based locally. They've been here for a long time, and I got to interact with franchise owners all across the nation. And it was great to get to know that entrepreneurial spirit that we have in our country. I was first appointed to the Logan City Council back in October of 2020, and to my surprise, I never really saw myself as somebody that would be serving in office. But after almost 5 years of being here in the City Council, I've come to not only appreciate what the city does and what the City Council does, but I do feel I bring something different to the table. I feel I've learned a lot during the last 5 years. I continue to learn, it seems like, every single meeting. And I look forward to being reelected and continue to serve on the City Council. I am an advocate for a strong, inclusive community, a family-oriented community that welcomes and celebrates our growing, vibrant diversity. I'm also actively involved in local efforts that strengthen civic engagement and support youth leadership development. And truly, my vision is simple, is that we are all Logan. We are all part of our beloved city. I look forward to making more progress on housing affordability efforts, supporting economic development, and advocating for a more sustainable future. Thank you.
Thanks, Ernesto. And Melissa.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Daly. I am currently running for City Council as well. To give you a little bit of history about myself, I'm a Cache County resident, lived here my whole life, grew up in Newton, went to Skyview, went to USU, graduated in Business Information Systems, and I've currently, well, I was Woodruff Chair, neighborhood chair for about 6-7 years. I haven't been the chair of that for a while, but as chair, we were able to complete quite a few projects in the Woodruff neighborhood. We got new sidewalks. We helped improve a little bit the safety of the light on 600 South and 10th West, working with UDOT, and along with a lot of other projects. I am currently serving as the chair of the Logan High School Community Council and the Mount Logan Middle School Community Council, as I have kids that are attending both of those schools. And I'm also chair of the Logan City Parks and Rec Board. So as you can see, I stay pretty busy. My family pretty much calls me a professional volunteer. So I guess that's why I'm running for City Council, just to keep it moving. I too am focused on fiscal responsibility. I take to heart the amount of tax money that we are spending within the city and would like to spend that wisely. I also, as being chair of the Woodruff neighborhood, was able to help with the 10-year plan. And I find it very important to stick to these plans that we have in the city, because there's a reason they were made. It's what the community wants, and I want the community to be heard. And so that also is very important to me. Indoor and outdoor recreation is another one of my main focuses. As part of the chair of the Parks and Rec Board, I was able to assist in coming about with the feasibility study that we just had. Excuse me. As I was the one who emailed all the mayors in the county and all the park managers in the county just to get that talked about and get it started. I would also like to bring clear communication to the city. I feel like a lot of citizens do get frustrated because it's kind of hard to find out what's going on within our city, and I hope to improve that communication to make it more accessible and not as hard to find. And another thing about me is just a little bit about my family. My husband works in Ogden. He's the CEO of a business down there called NutriSelf. I have 2 kids and a daughter-in-law that are attending Utah State University. I have a child that's a sophomore at Logan High and a child that's at Mount Logan Middle School. So they keep me very busy. And I just hope that you vote for me, and don't dilly, vote for Dally.
Thank you, Melissa. And thank you to all the candidates. We appreciate your time and your effort and your willingness to serve. We'll move now to our action items. We have 5 public hearings this evening. And we will move to the very first one, which is Emily. Would you come forward and share with us?
Yeah, if you'll remember, it's just updating the residential rebate program to align more closely with Rocky Mountain Power's rebates. Prior to that, we'd kind of combined some to kind of simplify, and we've expanded those back out to align to help our community partners that sell these materials to the residents, so they're only following sort of one set of rules always. Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions?
None for me.
Okay.
You're very thorough last time, so
Yes, you were.
thank you.
I did find out that we have spent $19,000 to date this fiscal year, so. I did the math. Could you ask
This
that last
fiscal
time?
year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Do-
and last was
Thank you.
about 25,000.
Do you feel satisfied with what Rocky Mountain offers? Or would you like to see something different?
No, I think they're very adequate and very timely incentives.
So they've
Yeah.
done a pretty
Yeah,
decent job, so.
Yeah, and we didn't emulate them entirely. Like we kind of eliminated some of the small, like $20 for a refrigerator. I don't think that motivates anyone's purchase
Yeah,
necessarily.
makes sense.
Anything else?
We've been through this in RESAP, and I don't have any questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've covered this numerous
they support
times.
Numerous
that, so,
times,
yeah.
yeah.
Ernesto and I are
So-
well acquainted.
Are you satisfied also with it?
I am satisfied.
Okay.
Thank you.
We will open it to the public then. Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak to this resolution? Seeing no one, bring it back to the council for a decision.
I'll move approval of Resolution 25-38.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
I'll just briefly add that I think RESAP covered this in depth, and I think they all seemed quite happy with it and went through each one of them. And it seems like a well-informed board that has a good opinion on this one. So,
For those who don't know what RESAP means.
our Renewable Energy and Sustainability Advisory Board. Yes, thank you. Too many acronyms. Trust me, it took me like a year. And sometimes people still say acronyms, and I start.
Don't go to
Putting
water
words
quality.
together.
Do not go to water quality.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next public hearing is a rezone, and we're going to turn the time over to Amy.
All right, thank you. All right, so this is just a quick recap. We went over it 2 weeks ago. Oh, not this one, my bad. Just a second.
Yeah,
I
other
was
one.
like, oops, skipped one.
Oh. All right. All right, it's PC 20, well, it's ordinance 2514-14 Sierra Meadows rezone. Just quickly go over it. It is
On August 14th, PC recommended denial 4-0. Their major concern that was there was no planned development was submitted with the rezone. It's about a 20-acre lot near the
Outdoor recreation complex.
Outdoor recreation complex. I really
Thank you.
found this story.
Outdoor recreation complex.
North of Sugar Creek. The future land development plan calls it out as a single family. Currently it's in R4, so that's 4 units to the acre. They're asking for NR6 to be rezoned to NR6, which is 6 units to the acre. Right below it was Sugar Creek. That was put at MR9, but just to get different types of housing, but it really is about a 6 unit per acre development. It was zoned in a mass NR4 zoning that the city did back in 2016, where they rezoned a lot of NR6s, several NR6s to NR4s around Logan. And then in 2021, the Woodruff plan was adopted, and they wanted to set aside some more land for NR4. And May of 23 was when the Sugar Creek MR9 was done. We received several public comments for PC that were concerned for infrastructure and parking and water runoff and neighborhood schools.
So the MR9 in the corner used to be
NR4.
NR4.
Mm-hmm. And in 2023, it was rezoned from NR4 to MR9, even though it's only had the density of a little less than 6 units per acre, like an NR6.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be able to do some large and some small lots.
Because of the wetlands that they've got, yeah.
And so that was prior to the adoption of the Woodruff Neighborhood Plan, correct?
That was
No,
after.
it was after.
Was after?
Woodruff plan was February of 21, and this was May of 23, was
Okay.
the MR9.
And Planning Commission felt like that we should, because of the neighborhood plan, it should be preserved? Because-
They're partly that, but their biggest concern was that there was no planned development given to see like, what is your plan with this land?
Okay.
Yeah, that was their biggest concern.
Okay. Anybody else have questions?
Question, to the immediate east of is that also NR4?
It is in R4. It's a pretty good mix. It's zoned in R4, but the actual parcels are a pretty good mix of NR4 and NR6.
But the overall density is NR4.
That's what it's zoned.
That's the
It was
zone.
built as like an NR2. It was built as like an NR2 and then rezoned afterwards to an NR4. There's a lot of the lots there that are
bigger.
Really big?
an acre or more.
Yeah. Directly east,
Yeah.
it seems like there's quite a few
East is more
NR6, and then, but
NR4.
north and
Northeast is
more NR4.
it's kind of like there's a lot of residential horse properties and
So it's-
livestock properties in that area.
So I think for one of the things I had to learn coming on was that the zone doesn't dictate the lot size, it's just the overall density for that area that's zoned that way. So the MR9 allowed a certain type of housing, but the density in that is underneath the NR6. So the NR4 area there could have big lots, it could have small lots, it's just
It
overall
has to have a
density.
minimum of 10,000
Right.
square feet.
That the overall density is the bigger driver of that.
And so here in the packet, it does say
Typical
that
NR4.
in 2016, it used to be NR6 and it got down
And it was zoned.
Yeah.
zoned to NR4, right?
Correct. It was, the city did that in several different neighborhoods, just to preserve space for bigger lots.
We had a very
And
different,
it was also in part to respect what was there, so that the zoning that we put onto it reflected what was on the ground a little more clearly.
we have a different housing market now than in 2016 too.
What?
Yeah, so staff recommended approval of this rezone due to the fact that, times have changed and affordable housing is
Smaller lots.
an important issue right now.
Smaller lots cost less.
Anybody else? This is a public hearing. If there's anyone who wishes to speak to this, please come forward, state your name, where you live, and take 3 minutes or less.
It's a race.
It's a race. Ah, Gail won.
Dr. Gail Yost, I live in Logan, and I'm for expanding space for single-family homes. When they're too crowded together, it's almost like living in apartments. And the more space they have between, the more family-oriented even the children are in working with their neighbors. My particular parcel should have been NR6, but it's now in a zone that is NR4. But because of how old it is on my block, it makes a difference how my children grew up with the neighborhood children. Because there weren't too many, there weren't a lot of bullies, and it made a big difference in how they grew up. And that is my specialty, is childhood and pre-adolescence and adolescence. And I think it's important for children to see that neighbors can get along, whether or not they're young or adult.
So you are in favor of leaving it in
I am
our
in favor
court?
of having it go from a smaller part of a lot to a larger part of a lot.
So you're in favor of having it remain NR4? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm in favor of going, no, to NR6 because it will be.
Those are smaller.
So they're smaller.
NR6 would be smaller lots.
Or a larger lot.
Really? Okay. Then I would like to see
Bigger lots.
larger parcels. I really would like to see larger parcels because they are more conducive to family orientation among the neighbors as well as just one home. So thank you for.
Okay, thank you, Gail.
Yeah, Josh Muller. So I've been following this through the P&Z and that. There was a few people that were against this rezone. I'm against this rezone. It doesn't matter how big a house is on a lot. It doesn't matter, how many we can stuff in there. Housing prices aren't coming down. We're adding and adding and adding. It's not working. And it's nature of the beast of supply and demand. All this is going to do is just add more stress onto our already stressed infrastructure. All right, we've already got to, produce a lot more water for it with the Canyon Road pipeline. We got to stop stressing this stuff out. The people that this is going to have, 50% more houses on the lot from going from NR4 to NR6.
Well,
That's
theoretically,
significant.
it'd be one
What's that?
third more.
A third more?
You'd go from 80 to 120, so it would be a 50% increase.
Would it be?
Yeah, you would think this would be.
Because you're going from 4 units per acre to 6, but.
Yeah, and a lot of those places, you put houses on smaller lots, so it's going to be cheaper, but it's not going to be cheaper for the consumer. It's going to end up turning into a rental. Because that's all Logan's turning into, are rentals, 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 that's it. We literally 36% homeowner occupancy. We keep adding more, and that percentage doesn't change. So these developers aren't doing us a favor. They're not, they're just taxing our city's resources and making a lot of money doing it because we're the ones that pay for all the infrastructure that has to go in there. So I think that keeping it in NR4 is fine. And I'm in support of keeping it that way. Plus, how close you are to the dump? Has anybody have you smelled that place lately?
I ran by it this morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are reasons why they put buffer zones around dumps. And if you haven't done any research into it, and it's because of the toxic, toxicology of soils and things like that. And that thing's been there for what, 70, 80 years? I'd say let's protect our people by putting less people in danger of things like this. I know that, we need more housing, so thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Linda Johnson, and I live in Logan as well. And I think that the Planning Commission made a good point on this, that the owner agent is interested in changing the zoning, probably so that they can entice more investors if they're looking at selling this land. And the fact that there's no current proposal for it leaves us then in question. You can flip-flop all you want on the zoning, but it doesn't really actually change what's going to eventually, the land is going to be used for. I would perhaps go back to the agent or owner and say the council's interested in this, but we really need to have a firm plan in mind. And when you look at a plan for it, I personally would be okay with an NR6. I feel like a lot of younger families are looking for less yard maintenance, things like that, or more communal spaces. So if they included an NR6 that had like a small community park or something, I feel that would be of great value to Logan. But just flip-flopping the zones, I feel like I would just let the owner know we're open to this, but you need to have a solid plan. So if it comes down to a difficulty selling it, a good development is going to have a good plan with it, and I don't think that's going to change the land value they're going to get from it a lot. So I am open to it. I don't think it's going to feel stacked. I do think interests are changing in the housing market with what people are buying as nice houses, not necessarily rentals. But I think that a plan needs to be in place before you do a rezone again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
My name is Gail Hansen. I live in Logan. I grew up in a trailer park. And I love Gail. But it is my experience that the lot size is not as critical as the way the area is laid out. And so respectfully, I think if layout is done so that it's more community friendly, so that houses are facing one another and garages are facing other garages or something, so that people's front porches are front porches, so that we can have communities, then I think an NR6 is a great idea. I'm not going to put in a 10-acre garden like my dad did.
That's a farm.
Because he died. It'll kill you.
He kept my dad alive till he was 92.
Anyway, I think, yes, it's possible they'll all turn into rentals. And that would still be a place where families could live.
Thank you, Gail.
Hi, I'm Blaine Hamblin with Heritage, for the developer. So, yeah, we want single-family homes in here. One of the things the neighborhood program outlines is some diversity in there. We do have a plan. It fits more of a NR5 kind of scenario, with about 2,000 square feet difference in the smallest to the biggest lots. And it wasn't submitted because it's not required by the code. And the Planning Commission even pointed out that they can't base their vote off the plan. Even if we had a plan, they couldn't vote it based off the plan, the design of it anyway. It all comes down to the density. The great spot, or the great thing about this spot is the new park area and all the open space that's just kitty corner to it. Yeah, like I say, we're just, again, single family. The zoning is just for single family. We follow that code. And the concepts we've looked at, I guess, a little bigger than the NR4, so, but not quite the NR6, so that's why we're asking for the bigger one. But yeah, that's about all I have at this point, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Hi, I'm Michael O'Donnell. I also live in Logan. I live actually in that R4 that's right directly to the north of that. And, you know, we're against the R6, anything more than what it is currently zoned. We've had chats within our neighborhood, and it is just, we feel like we've already been ignored when the Silver Lakes and area was rezoned.
Sugar Creek.
And so, you know, we already are struggling. We've lost the sense of community down in our area. Our kids the kids that actually live in our community cannot walk to school. Sometimes now many of them are being bused to other schools. And so you've lost that sense of community down there with Woodruff Elementary being at capacity and over capacity. And so, I mean, I just think for the sense of community, for keeping as much open space as we can, we should keep that at R4. Yes, there is that open space that you guys are developing. We're grateful for that open space. But I think time is still, has to be told of how that turns out and what kind of a public space that actually does turn into. So anyway, the plan also, there already is a master plan that says that it should stay at R4. That's what our community has said. I've lived in this area since 1995. And so I've been active in that, and my wife has as well, and so we want to just continue where we're at with the NR4, so I'm against that.
Thank you.
What was your name?
Mike O'Donnell.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Melissa Daly, I live here in Logan. My whole thing with this is because I was part of the Woodruff Neighborhood Plan, and we made that NR4 because we saw our schools bleeding families. They're all going out to the county to make their settlement, and we wanted to have areas that people could make a settlement here in Logan, just to keep people here in Logan with their kids, you know, throughout high school, because it helps improve our school and the neighborhoods. And so that would be my argument, along with the fact that this was in our 10-year plan. It would be nice to see it stay, you know, because it's part of our plan.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Hi, my name's Paul Beecher, and I live in the house that's directly west of that. We own 3 acres there. And my concern is we've always had water problems with that piece of ground. And if you ever come look at it, you can see how the trees grow and they come right into the corner, the northwest corner that goes right into our lot. And on even years that aren't real wet, we get a lot of water out of that field. And my concern is that I'd just like that to be taken care of. And we'll talk to the developer as well, but it seems to me like the more houses we put up there, the bigger that problem's going to be. So I'm kind of leaning towards NR4 because of the water problem. That's all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anyone else? Seeing no one, I'll bring it back to the council for a decision.
Some good points brought up on both sides. I like that Woodruff Neighborhood Master Plan calls for NR4. I like what Ms. Johnson had to say, because that made a lot of sense as well too. So some really great points brought forward.
So I think originally when we talked about NR4, I'm the only one who was here.
Well, I won't make any jokes.
Okay.
Back in what year was that?
Forever ago.
I was still in junior high.
Stop it. I was long past junior high.
Please explain, Jeannie.
I think the intent was for us to create a diversity of lot size parcels, so that in any given part of Logan, you would have anything from apartments to townhouses to NR6 to NR4, so that you could have that diversity of opportunity. And then the Woodruff neighborhood felt it was important that they retain that, at least part of their community. So that, but that's just, I'm saying that from my past experience, so.
Well, and I do recall with that idea of we're losing people come here, they did the starter home, but then as their children age, they move out because they are looking for maybe a bigger house or more land, and that the Woodruff neighborhood didn't have as much of that diversity of the larger lot sizes, which was why their neighborhood plan recommended the NR4. So I would be inclined to, because of that I would be inclined to deny the rezoning.
We had spent a lot of input on the Woodruff plan from the whole neighborhood, like a lot. It wasn't just 2 people. It was hundreds.
It wasn't just.
Yeah, it wasn't. I'm just saying, it's
Well,
like it
I'll
wasn't
say-
2 people. It was like hundreds. So
I will say that to add to our handful of comments we've had tonight, I've had discussions on all the various Facebook groups in this area that I went and posted this when I was at Planning Commission. I know I screenshotted some of those comments and sent them to you. But in my discussions online with people who live in the vicinity, I have heard of none that were in favor of this, and many that said, we were involved in the Woodruff plan. That was just a few years ago. And they truly don't feel like they were listened to over Sugar Creek, and I know there were good reasons for that decision still. But I do think there's validity to making sure that we listen to the plan and the neighborhood and what they really want from it. And it does provide, I mean, if we look at the zoning, I know to the west is NR4, but it's really 2 acre, 2 lots an acre. NR4 here would provide a variety that isn't in that area of the map. So I would be inclined.
Any thoughts?
Also,
I think,
as well,
given the rezone of Sugar Creek, I think I lean towards keeping it at NR4 to provide more variety of the lot size and density.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion?
no, I want to say something.
Mark has more
I want to say
comments.
something. Yeah.
Okay.
He's full of ideas.
Just because of the Woodruff neighborhood plan, I'm inclined to vote against this. However, it like personally, I feel like we need more diversity in the neighborhoods, because I grew up in a neighborhood where I live right now, and we had 3 acre lots, 1 acre lots, half-acre lots, quarter-acre lots, duplexes, fourplexes, everything. And it represents the entire demographic of our residents and a demographic of a person's life. And I loved that part because I associated with the elderly in my neighborhood as a youth, and I learned from them, and they learned from me. And as my kids grew up with the same situation, some of their best friends were in their 80s, and they looked forward to them coming around every day with their dogs. I mean, that was an important part of that for them. And so I personally, it disturbs me that we segregate and we say, well, we only want 55 and over here. We only want, new families here. We only want this. And I think that limits
a community needs
a community. Yeah, we need all of that. And I totally respect what Woodruff would like, but to me personally, I feel like we need more diversity in those areas. So,
And
yeah.
one concern I do have is how this impacts affordability, right? Bigger lots require usually bigger footprints or more maintenance for the lot. And so,
which the world is different than it was in 2016. Yeah. I think that's the one concern I have is houses are more unaffordable than they were.
If we continue
it
to
points to Linda Johnson's comment though too, that if the plan was brought forward that had
Which the planning commission is not supposed to make decisions based on
Correct.
a plan, but the city council can, it's a legislative act, we can rezone to some, I'll look at Craig for, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, I think that if you're going to talk about diversity and you're going to talk about different lot sizes, then to me, what you're talking about is the general plan process.
Yeah.
And do you want to not rezone until you have some opportunity to have those discussions
Rebuild our
within?
zoning to some extent.
Well, yeah.
Our general
within
plan
that.
might come out with very different zoning recommendations
Right.
than what we have right now.
And so are we wanting to buttonhole us into a new paradigm, or, I don't know. I'll wait for somebody to make a recommendation.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we can't do that.
I'm really bad at reading lips anyway. I have no idea what he's trying to say to me. It's okay.
Which is probably, did you have a sandwich before the meeting or not? No.
Yeah, he did.
Craig is saying
So
just be
I
quiet.
would make a motion, I would move to deny ordinance 25-14.
I will second that.
It's
I would
been
like to-
moved and
I would like to
seconded.
discuss that and say I would be interested in seeing a plan
Agreed.
with something else.
And I would
Agreed.
welcome that.
Very
I
good.
would too.
Yeah.
All good thoughts.
May I ask?
You're the chair.
I am the chair.
You can do whatever you want.
Mike, would you come in just for a minute and talk?
You said, will you?
No. Will you?
I'll change it, I'll say you will. That's what you want. Would you please share the,
Feisty.
there's this desire to see a plan without rezoning blanket kind of thing. Would you just talk a little bit about that whole
Yeah,
concept?
you can't conditionally zone property, so you can't, I mean, it's a great idea, we want to see a development laid out with the rezone, but you've got to rezone property based on what the uses are allowed, or the size are allowed, or the density is allowed. So you have to assume that if you're okay with whatever's allowed in R4, you're okay with that coming forward, regardless of how it's configured, other than as long as it's within standards. So you can't do that. We have a process in place, plan development process that allows you to look at, like what Mark's suggesting is a different way to approach it. And then again, we can also look at some different tools that maybe we would adopt in the plan, and that's in process.
And this is 20.06 acres, so they could do a planned
Development overlay.
development overlay.
Videos are so much fun.
It's probably got some environmental areas to work around, so there's probably good reasons to cluster, to have some bigger lots, to have a mixture of things in there.
Some open space.
And the hard thing about zoning, it's a little clunky. It's got buffers and boundaries. It's hard to kind of, wiggle through it. It says you've got to do this and have a nice day. So that's why we have that PDO process to kind of get through that stuff.
So that is an opportunity for the developer to do that, correct?
Correct.
So if there's a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Thank you, Mike.
You betcha.
Thank you, Mike.
You're the chair, call a vote.
I said, is there further discussion?
I know. And I said, you're the chair, call a vote. As your vice chair.
Mike's being pushy. She.
I have no more discussion.
I have no more
I'll
discussion.
be polite, I have no more discussion.
All those in favor of denial of the rezone from NR6 to NR4, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I would encourage the developer to access the plan development overlay process, but some days you may not want to talk to these guys.
They won't even smile about it today.
They're not smiling right now. But
Maybe Mike
it is
can
a
get you some
process.
info on it.
It is a process that could allow for that diversity in housing type. We'll move now to ordinance 25-15.
All right, so we have ordinance 25-15, the honey rezone. It is located just west of the temple. The future land use plan is for Town Center. It is currently in R6, but not too many of those parcels are left as in R6. And they're asking for a rezone to the TC2. August 14th, Planning Commission recommended approval, 4-0 in favor. It's a 0.21 acre property that they would like to go from NR6 to C2.
Specifically for?
Specifically because it is, so there's a single family home in the front, and then the garage has an apartment over the top, and which is grandfathered. And at some point a studio apartment was put in next to the garage that wasn't legally conforming, and they would like to be able to have that legally conforming, and so therefore TC2 would allow that studio apartment to be used.
If it complied with code.
Yes. If it can comply with code.
And did they appeal did they try to get a grandfathered in? Did they go through that process and it was denied?
So this is the alternative.
This is the alternative, is the reason. And I guess that's the issue I have with this one.
Well, they didn't try to grandfather the studio apartment.
They did not?
In 2009, it was grandfathered for the 2 units, and then that 3rd unit was made, and then they were told, once it was discovered that it's not legally conforming, and so then they are asking for a rezone.
So when was the studio added?
We don't know, do we?
Yeah, I don't know when the studio was added.
We don't know.
Because they've never presented any information to see if it could get grandfathered. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm not sure at what point.
Russ, do you know if they ever requested grandfathering?
Yeah, I believe they requested 3 units, so the 1 house and the 2 in the back, and the 3rd was denied because it was never legally established per previous zoning.
Okay.
That was a previous landowner, though, I believe. This is a new homeowner now that is now requesting a rezone.
Anybody else have comments? I have a question. I've talked to the gentleman who rents the house in the front. So the other day I kind of wandered to the back so I could look and see what the apartment and the garage and all that. They've built an entire deck over the canal, which I don't think is legal.
You can see it on the sat image there.
Yeah, it's like a solid deck over the canal.
Go fishing.
And so I don't know, there are certain setbacks that are required for the canal. I don't know whether they've complied with any of those setbacks. Obviously, building something over the top of the canal, it doesn't do anything for setbacks. And I feel like we're giving them something else when there's already issues that should be addressed with the property itself. That's just me. That, and I hate, like, all daylight to lose all those houses on that block that face the temple, because I think that it provides a very nice transition to town to have those houses there.
So I'm of 2 minds on this. One is, and I hate to keep saying, well, we're working on the general plan. We should wait to see what the general plan says.
But we're close.
This area, but we are getting close. So that's my first thought is to say no to this because of the proximity we are to the general plan that's going to be looking at this whole section, not just this side of the block, but that whole area around the temple as well. That's my first. And then, like I already said, I just have issue with rezoning to make something that's illegal legal.
I know.
And I just really struggle with that I did something, somebody, whether this homeowner did it or the previous homeowner did it, they were not in compliance with code, and now we would change something to allow what somebody did that was inappropriate to become now appropriate. So that's really kind of what I'm struggling with on this. I don't disagree that this might become TC2 at some point in time in the new general plan, and then I'd be hard pressed to vote against it. But right now, since it's future land use, which is also under review again, that's where I'm sitting with this.
The underlying question is, aside from all that stuff, should this be TC2?
Right, and that's the general plan piece of it.
Should it be TC2, aside from all the other stuff that's going on there, or is it okay just leaving it as it is?
Any other
And
comments?
will TC2 after the general plan, will it be the same?
Yeah, might be different.
It might be different, yeah.
Can't worry about that.
Anything else before I open the public hearing? This is a public hearing. If any member of the public has a comment, please step forward, state your name, where you live, and take 3 minutes or less.
Okay. This is just personal, Gail Yost, and we have a personal issue with TC2 because right around the corner from us, when our church was taken down because of the earthquake,
asbestos,
and it was found that the church was made of masonry, not structure. And you and I, Jeannie, remember that TC2 argument? And I'm against changing any TC2 into a neighborhood where there should be just neighborhood. Because we have found that the dentist that was supposedly only going to make a dental office and maybe a medical office in the same building and an apartment for a caretaker, suddenly was staging all the supplies for the L59. And he promised, he said he didn't, but I heard a promise, he would never change it for anybody. And then he suddenly wanted the TC2 to mean that he was going to build more apartments. And you know how I feel about too many apartments. Maybe it is Dr. Gail Yost. The more apartments, the more apartments we have, the better chance we have of a higher volume of violent crime, of domestic violence, because people get isolated from one another in apartments. Now, this isn't a big city yet, but it's growing to be, and if we start putting TC2s in places that should just be neighborhood, I say we have to stop doing that, because it was a mistake in the first place to have that TC2 on our old chapel. It was an unfounded idea to just put TC2 in because it would have a higher level and would have a better setback. And basically, what happened was he took advantage of that and made more money from the developer that was doing the L59, offering him a way of making more money by building apartments. And I'm totally against anybody who's making a deal with the devil. That's my opinion.
Thank you very much, Gail. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to this? Seeing no one, I'll bring it back to the council for a decision.
So everyone gets to hear us like mentally deliberate in our brains right now.
Yeah, you can hear me creaking.
Yeah, it's creaking. I think I've said how I kind of, I'm really, I'm hesitant to do this based on the general plan and based on what I said earlier, that it's taking a non-conforming property and making it conforming but via a zoning change, which I'm uncomfortable with that at this point in time, so that's where I sit on this one.
Would you like?
Recognizing that, yes, there's other properties in that area that are TC2, so the zone makes sense at one level, but I'm struggling with this one. Yeah, I'm struggling with this one.
Again, the underlying question is, should this be TC2 because of the location, because of the north-south corridor that's going to go there, because of the north-south corridor that's going to go on First East? There's going to be more traffic. It's going to be more commercial, whether we like it or not.
Over time,
it's going to go there. So, should it be 2C2 or should it stay? That's our question. So.
Does anybody have a motion?
Do we suspect?
Because in 40 years, it's not going to be.
It's not going to be.
It's not going to be residential.
But we're doing it today.
I know, but I understand where Mark's going. Is like long term, it's not.
Well,
Is your suspicion that the general plan will indicate that this will not be TC2?
I've not been involved with the
If they take into consideration UDOT's plan for First East and Second East and First West and Second West, it will change.
You're the one on that committee, right?
Yeah. I would suspect it's going to change. So I can't say for sure, but I have my suspicions. So.
I'm with Amy that I'm. Mark's over there chuckling.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I know you
I'm
are.
just like,
I know. And I agree that you make strong arguments, but so does Amy, and I am hesitant.
I'm really hesitant too.
Purely hesitant, not strongly leaning in either one way or the other, but just hesitant.
You got to put your blinders on and look at what it's supposed to be, not what it is.
You and your giggle over there.
This is where you pull out your lucky rabbit's foot and your crystal ball to see into the future.
Does that work?
It sometimes it has to.
Well, I'm ready for a motion if anybody wants to make one. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
I'll move denial of ordinance 25-15.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please, of denial of ordinance 25-15, please say aye.
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 All those not in favor of denial, please say
Nay.
nay. Motion carries 4-1. Thank you, Amy. That was a lot of sitting.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll move now to a plan development overlay.
This will be quick.
Discussion.
Yeah. This will be quick. Thank you for the discussion on that last one. So. I think it's worth the discussion. So,
I think so too.
Yeah.
And there's valid arguments.
There's a
on
lot
both
of
sides.
underlying, stuff going in there. So.
It doesn't preclude them from coming back.
No, absolutely.
Or next month.
Or next month.
In 3 months, it might be something
With
completely
the new
different.
council member sitting in my seat, maybe some of them feel differently.
Absolutely.
Maybe two.
Absolutely.
Maybe three. Just saying, it's an open election. Maybe three. I don't trust my crystal ball to rabbit's foot as well as Mark does. I'm just saying.
I have to use mine
Okay.
a lot, so.
How about Russ? Take it away.
More comfortable.
Back on track.
Good
City
evening.
Council, this is a request for Willow Lakes Plan Development Overlay for Phase 5. Phases 1 through 4 were approved approximately 5 years ago, and construction on single-family homes and the water or lake amenities is currently being completed for phases 1 through 4. It's located approximately 11th South and 1400 West. The current zone is NR6. To the north is outside of the city boundaries. To the south, it's a combination of recreation and industrial park zoning as you get towards the Icon area. The FLUP calls out the area as detached residential with an X overlay, which simply means there's likelihood more critical lands in the area. The Woodruff Neighborhoods Plan calls it out as single-family detached. So the Phase 5 area is broken up into 3 areas divided by city streets. There's a west, a central, and an east area. I went out and took a better photo.
That is a beautiful photo.
Because the previous photo was criticized.
Criticized by someone on council.
Bad
As I
lighting,
recall,
too many shadows.
there was someone on
The second
council.
microcheek of that
So-
last photo. Thank you. Thank you.
We
So
could
this
count
is
the
looking-
pixels.
This is looking at the larger lake here, and it's looking west. You can see the Wellsville Range in the background. This is looking directly north on the 1400 West corridor. This is the section that is currently built as pavement, curb, and gutter. And the cross section there is about 38 feet. This is looking directly east, back at the Bear River Range and Logan City, and this is 1100 South Street. This is planned to be a full 60-foot right-of-way, curb, gutter, sidewalk, park strip, etc.
Approximately how far west are you when you're taking that photo? Is
Right
that
at 1400.
Right at 1400 north?
I am standing at this
Yeah.
intersection right
Okay.
here between 1400 West and 11 South when I took those
Okay.
photos.
All right, thank you.
And so you can see the different phases. Phase 1 is in the top left. Phase 2, 3, 4 kind of work counterclockwise around their big wake lake. Phase 5 is the area circled in red dashed lines, and it's about 12 acres in size, okay? And here's the 3 different parts. On the left, you have the commercial area that they are trying to include in the PDO. That would include a fitness center, a boathouse, event center, beach area, some office space, and 5 short-term rental homes that would be built as single-family detached homes. So that's 1 and 2 listed there. 3 is more single-family detached homes, and 4 is what they call a mansion home, which is a attached housing. Typically, there are 3 or 4 units. They're built to look like one big mansion home, but they're actually 3 townhomes inside, or 4 townhomes inside. And then 5 is the assisted living center. So a close-up on the beach area, some very conceptual drawings, beach homes, short-term rental, middle area, mansion homes, and assisted living. As this went through Planning Commission, and we talked about this a little bit last time, Planning Commission suggested that rather than, okay, let me back up really quick and bring everyone up to speed. The PDO is an overlay zone process that is a 2-step process. The first step is concept review. And they went through concept review start to finish. When they went before their HOA, they did not like the idea of the larger multi-story condominiums. And so they changed that whole middle section area. They're supposed to have design review drawings as part of step 2. So step 2 is the code amendment, the code language, and design review drawings. As they went back to Planning Commission, they contemplated, well, let's just kind of rezone each section and not do the PDO anymore. Planning Commission did not like that idea and said, no, go back to your PDO, but rather than doing a 2-step process, do a 3-step process. And so Planning Commission said, come back for design review permits for the clubhouse area, the mansion home area, and the assisted living area, because all three of those areas would be required design review as per code.
So 1, 4, and 5?
Yeah, the single-family homes, number 3, and the short-term rentals, number 2, don't require design review because they're single-family detached.
So they just have to meet the existing code for single-family detached.
So,
And they allow the short-term rentals for anybody who wasn't here before, because that's part of the overlay, is they're requesting that cluster of short-term rentals where ordinarily they would have to have separation.
correct. The overlay allows deviation from standard code rules. So I just wanted to highlight that they're not deviating from the steps, but they are asking to separate step 2 into a step 2 and a step 3. So this would be the zoning map amendment, which would create an overlay zone in those 3 areas. The base zone would remain NR6, but the overlay zone would allow the commercial, the multifamily, and the assisted living. So it does also allow different land uses than the regular NR6.
So are there other particular requirements that go along with this overlay, other than the conceptual 5 pieces?
Yes, and that's what's detailed in the code section under 27. So it explains exactly what you can and cannot do. There's allowed uses, there's prohibited uses. In this code section, it also reflects the requirement to get design reviews at a later point based on planning commission and other requirements.
Just so you know, AI would only give me 3 paragraphs and then said this document is too complex to summarize.
That is too much.
Just saying.
No comment.
So part of that are unique site requirements. They've asked for different setbacks on the short-term rentals. And here's the area that we're going to focus on. It's the additional requirements. So as part of the PDO process, they're asking for something out of the ordinary. In exchange, the city can say, here's the additional requirements associated with that request. And the focus has been road improvements to 1400 West and trail improvements. But as we've gone through this process, it hasn't been detailed until about, 3 or 4 days ago. Councilmember Johnson has been discussing with them, and we met with staff yesterday, and we started talking about what exactly that means. And so when we talk about
that, those requirements could be articulated in the PDO.
they need to be articulated in the code section right here. Currently, this language does not articulate the detailed conversations that have taken place in the last couple of days.
Okay.
So depending on the outcome of those negotiations, this section will need to be amended and come back for review and approval, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now I have a question about that. What if the standards change and say, we think that's the way it should change, but the developer is not comfortable with it? The developer would already have this approved.
Nothing's been approved because you have not cast your final vote. At this point, it's still pending.
Okay, I know, but if you were just saying that it would have to come back with an amendment.
What I'm saying is this language right here has been in the packets for the last 4 weeks and what has been publicly noticed.
Okay.
And so if you were to vote right now, this is the language which would be adopted, which doesn't reflect the discussions that have been taking place over the last few days.
Okay, I'm going to.
So we can't make changes to this tonight and vote on this tonight?
I think you could if it was very clear. That's where it gets a little tricky.
So-
If you made a motion that said, I want to strike, sentence number 2 and replace it with this,
I see
I
what you're
think that would work. But if it gets a little, really complicated, it might be easier to go back and rewrite this whole paragraph and then bring it back.
So I'm going to go totally out of turn, and I'm going to ask the developers. You're in these discussions. Do you feel comfortable with the direction they're taking, number one? And number two, do you want us to amend it tonight based on those discussions? Or would you prefer to have the language, work it out, and come back in 2 weeks?
Fair question.
I think that generally.
Can you come to the mic? Sorry, is that okay?
Please
Just
come, yeah.
so everyone can
it's
hear.
easier.
Jeannie, that was well put, yeah.
I think there's been, sorry, Brett Nelson with the development. It's an interesting question. The assumption on our side was that we were going to be having some discussion around particularly what was proposed just to us just barely this last 24 hours. Because it is substantially different in some aspects than what was discussed previously. I would say that we're not against having some of that discussion today in kind of a more open format so that we can get to that. And then if everybody's comfortable with the level of detail, I don't think we'd be against it. If the council members individually feel like there would need to be a lot of specificity and detail on that, then I would defer to your judgment in saying, would it be better to have that language crafted?
Well, I will say one of the challenges that I have is that, or I'm speaking as the chair, is that if we try and craft it on the go, we've not allowed the public the opportunity to read it and absorb it and perhaps come to a public hearing and speak to it. It would be, I don't want to disadvantage your process by waiting 2 weeks, but I want to advantage your opportunity to get it the way you want it. Does that make sense?
Yes, I mean, I understand the argument. It's a little bit of a curveball for us just because we're trying to deal with this with very short notice.
Are you comfortable waiting for 2 weeks?
I don't know that it's necessarily a matter of comfort as it is there value in having the discussion today is my main question. Or is there more value pinning down the details in less of a, fly by the seat of our pants kind of manner?
Well, I believe that the part of the process that we participate in is staff does that work with you, brings it to us.
Sure.
And so I think that it's kind of, and you guys can disagree with me if you want to, but I think it disadvantages all the parties if we do it on the fly. And I would rather,
there are certain aspects that are going to be a little bit difficult to pin down.
right, and I would much rather you have the opportunity to work with staff to iron it out into a way that is acceptable both to you and to the city, and then bring it back to us if that works for you. I just don't want it to be I don't want to be putting you off again and again and again.
Sure.
Because I think we're really close.
Yeah, I think we're really close.
I think that Planning Commission liked the concepts that you had, and I think there are some things that people have been encouraged to add to the process, and hopefully those are amenable to you, or we can work on them to get them to the point where they're amenable to both parties.
Yeah, I think that the admission is that some of the aspects that were added, as added, won't be amenable. Otherwise, I would just say, let's go ahead and go forward. There's just, it's too much of a stretch on some of those aspects. And so those will probably need to be pinned down. And to your point, they might be better to be pinned down by staff first and then.
Okay. So is that
2 weeks would probably.
Is that acceptable to you?
It would be 3 till our next meeting. I don't know if
Well,
that's
it's the first one in October.
Yeah, I don't know if that
I mean, that's
changes things.
Yeah.
It's the first meeting in October, I'm sorry. It's not exactly every 2 weeks.
It's pretty close.
But if that
But I
is,
just thought I would
if that is amenable to you, I will ask if the council will continue it to that date.
Yeah, I think we're okay with that.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
I think your assessment's good. I think we're getting really close, so.
And I will say, I think that because it is throwing that commercial into a residential area, I think there is that quid pro quo of necessary changes and allowances, and I know staff has worked hard identifying what those things might be.
But it'd be nice to see the
Specifically, it'd be
language.
better to have it more specific. So I would move continuation of, we can still talk after ordinance 25-16 to October 2nd. 7th.
Public hearing?
I say,
Yes.
With the public hearing.
do we have people here who wanted to speak from the public on this? I would like to respect that they've showed up and waited 2 hours to speak tonight.
Can we do that?
I'll say something.
Yeah, you can do another.
Just give us a moment.
You can open the public.
And I'm okay continuing that, another public hearing personally, but we have had people wait 2 hours to make a comment. That's my opinion.
Is that, okay. Is that a second with that amendment?
Yes, I will second it, that we
Is that-
continue it to October 7th, including a public hearing on the 7th as well.
And do we need to hold off on doing that till after the public hearing is closed? Do we need to hold off on our motion until after the public hearing is
We can
held?
still continue it.
So hold the public hearing and then.
And then,
Yes.
And then vote on the motion.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
sorry.
This is a public hearing for tonight. If you have comments related to this development overlay as it is written and as you have seen it, please come to the microphone, state your name, where you live, and take 3 minutes or less.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'm Jake. I live in West Logan in the historic district with my wife. Avid gym goer, and I just want to say I'm really excited about the prospect of a fitness facility over there. We go to Sports Academy, which is an awesome gym, but it's really overcrowded. It's really kind of the only facility like its kind in town. And just having something closer to town in Logan, I think would be really positive for the community. And I know a lot of people, my friends, some of my family that would certainly use it. So that's my comment.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake.
Josh Muller from Logan, one of Logan's favorite developments, gotta say. It's gonna happen no matter what. Only problem I have is 60 beds, 60 assisted living beds in that little space. I drive by there at work, and I'm just like, how are you guys gonna fit that in there? Stacking beds, stacking bodies, type of thing. I'm really confused on it. Is that a good place to put an assisted living facility? Honestly, the rest of it, whatever. People want, some things going on there, that's fine. I just can't get past how you're gonna fit 60 beds in there. I mean, how tall is this going? I mean, seriously, that's all about money. It's not about, giving people, a good retirement it just.
So Josh,
yeah.
the place to talk about that will be when they come to Planning Commission with their design.
Oh, okay, so I get to talk again? Awesome.
That'll be the opportunity.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Better opportunity, yes.
Thanks, Josh.
Hi again, Linda Johnson from Logan here. And I have not lived in Cache Valley more than about 3.5 years. And so this was approved initially.
Thanks for coming to council.
Well, I've become deeply invested in interest. I have 4 kids, and I work now for Logan City School District. And I feel like I want Cache Valley to be a place united, and that's a place that's good for people from birth to death. And I have heard naysaying things about this project, but personally, without all that history there, I think this sounds like a good project that the developers, with what they're wanting to do and the amendments they've planned, are, they want to create good avenues to get to this project, right? So that people can come and do short-term rentals, so that people can live there, and that it's a nice place where people have a view of the Wasatch Mountains. I hadn't really planned on talking about the retirement facility, but I have been paralyzed. And when your body does not work as well, you cannot walk a long distance, and it actually you do want a small living area. Like the size of this to live in, because you can't get food and things like that for yourself. And so a small apartment or studio is actually, I feel like, very comfortable for someone to live in, or 1 bedroom or 2 bedrooms, which I'm in the planning commission, I'm sure they'll address that. But I think that the short-term rentals are a fantastic idea for people in Logan to use for staycations. Things like that. People can't always afford to go out far away, but being able to go to like a lake resort type feel, or where you don't have to go to Bear Lake and rent out, something like that could be a more affordable option for people. And I do feel like we should approve that as a modification to the code, because I feel like they've addressed things and they want to make it look nice, like you feel that you're in a posh place, but on a budget where normal people can still live there and have amenities that they want. I don't know that, I mean, this might draw a lot of young families depending on how they build the houses, but I like that then they've also addressed that there will be older people there, and that can create a sense of community where younger people can interact and mix with older people, maybe volunteer at this retirement home. And I like that they've created a community in this area, and I do think that they are showing good faith in building up the infrastructure and other interest in trails and that and around the area. So that is my feel on the project.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Linda.
I know I'm annoying after a while, but Dr. Gail Yost.
You're
And
not
I think
annoying,
the assisted living is a good idea, because we always need more spaces for people who need assisted living. I'm just worried about why mansion homes? Why mansion type houses when the rest of the people are just going to be in their homes? Do they really need 5 mansion-type houses to remind everybody that there are people who are better than them?
So Gail, a mansion house is just a terminology for a multitude of say, townhouses.
It's a triplex. It looks like a house.
It looks like one house, but it's really 3 houses.
Well, I'm
It's a triplex.
I'm
It
for
looks
making
nice.
sure that there's space between, but not too much, because we need to have community. That younger woman, everybody's younger than me in here. We need communities. We need people to feel like they belong, and we need to make sure that it's built so that people feel like they belong. And if it isn't showing that in the way it's being laid out, we need to make sure that it changes how it's laid out. And that is a professional opinion based on my belief that too many people together is not good, but too many people apart is also not good. Because people who are too far apart, again, get isolated. People who are in too many apartments get isolated from one another. And we need a good standard of people just living together as normal neighbors, if that makes sense.
Thank you, Gail.
Thanks, Gail.
Is there anyone else? Now we'll bring it back.
And now, Amy, you can go for it. I would move continuation of ordinance 25-16 to October 7th with the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll see you on the 7th.
Can I make a note to the proponents to get with staff and iron out some of those?
Okay.
So work with staff and council.
Staff.
Yeah, work with staff.
Please.
And if you would like,
You can
I'm
have up
happy
to
to
two,
join.
you could have up to 2 council members at
Yep.
a meeting.
You can invite 2 of
We
us.
need to better define what this process looks like when we're gonna have back and forth. We need to have a new code. What does that look like?
I think you're right. I think this one's been a little more difficult.
Yeah, I don't foresee that a lot of ways, but yeah, just like.
Okay, we have to continue. Oh, Rich. We have a public hearing with Rich Anderson today. Woo!
Hi, Rich.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. This is gonna be fun. This is a request to appropriate $8,722 for Parks and Rec grant in the state of Utah for the Recreation Center Complex. This isn't a new grant, it's actually an adjustment, just to make sure we capture all that's available from that grant. Request to appropriate.
No. We are on the workshop. We need to do the public hearing on
I was so confused.
2539.
I was like reading numbers that he was not reading.
I caught Rich in something wrong.
What? Could have made this really fast.
Yeah, this is an 8,100, it's 8,000 at the top, too.
Like, that's right, something's off.
Sorry,
That's why I was like, he said 8,700.
He was so excited, he wanted to do the
You're
workshop.
so welcome. I got my eye on you, dude.
All right. I thought since we've been here 4 hours.
It's not even been 2.
You thought since we've been here 4 hours, you could just make a workshop be an action item?
It's not even dark outside.
It will be in 3 weeks.
All right, let him go. So.
Okay, $8,147 for the library, interlibrary loan grant we receive each year. $7,123 for EMS training grant from the state of Utah for the fire department, and $6,780 for police forfeitures, forfeiting guns, buying drone stuff.
Nice. For their remote pilots.
So they sell the guns, buy the drone stuff.
It's a good trade.
I have no questions.
No questions.
No questions.
This is a public hearing. If there are any members of the public who wish to speak to this, please come forward, state your name, and take 3 minutes or less.
You guys are going to get sick of me. I'm Linda. I live in Logan. And I had not known this was on here, but I've taken a great interest in our community libraries since I've been here. Not everybody in Cache Valley gets to go to the public library and check out books. And coming from Salt Lake County before, that is very sad to me. And I participate in the library programs with my kids a lot. So to clarify, the $8,147 that the library received is actually going to the library to fund interlibrary, or are you trying to reappropriate it and move it somewhere else?
So it's coming from the state and it funds the interlibrary loan. If we don't have the book, somebody else does, we can borrow from another library, that type of thing.
Yes,
And it will stay there.
I am familiar with that, and I just want to make sure that they retain those funds. Is that the plan?
Yes.
That's where they're going.
So when they come into our budget, they come into the whole budget, and then we have to allocate them to the place where they belong. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, that is great. I was like, I hope they're not trying to reappropriate that, but maybe I got confused then with the police wanting to reallocate some money from guns to drones, which I also approve of.
Well, no, they just
Because
sell,
drones are just way more
like guns to
cool,
drones,
right?
yeah.
That's good
they
stuff.
just
with
sell
guns.
evidence that they acquire after a certain length of time, and they use that money. When then that money goes in the general fund, and it has to be reappropriated back.
I appreciate you guys clarifying that. Thank you so much for clarifying that. And to speak from the library, I do think the interlibrary program, I'm glad that they participate in that, receive the money from Utah State. I would love to see a countywide interlibrary loan program where people could check out a book at Logan Library and return it in Smithfield, and have an employee that returns them to the libraries, which would involve a changeover of software and a lot more communication and cooperation than I currently see in the county, which is not a United States of Cache County. It is a, I love my parcel of land, don't touch it.
So I would just,
there's a long history with
there is
respect.
a long history. Like I said, I just got a job with the school district, and there is a long, even longer history maybe there. But I would love to see a sense of community where people could all be able to participate and enjoy public resources. And right now that is not happening. So I'm glad that Logan Library has chosen to accept those funds from the state to fund some sort of interlibrary loan program, because they are lacking in many books. So being able to get them is nice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anyone else? Bring it back to the council for a decision.
I'll move.
I'll move approval of resolution 25-39.
I'll second it. Let's arm wrestle for it.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Can I interject something? Linda, what library board meeting was last night? So I would encourage you to come to a library board meeting. They're held the third Monday at 5:30 on the Aspen conference room.
for libraries.
Logan Library.
Logan City.
Logan City Library Board.
The problem is, guys, there are like 20 cities, right? And I think that everybody.
No, but I'm just saying.
But you live in Logan.
You live in Logan. If you have questions about how Logan City Library is functioning and operating within the county boundaries, that would be a great place to come to learn and talk to them. Third Mondays at 5:30 in the Aspen conference room.
At the library building.
At the library. And the beginning of the meeting also has a public comment period, just like our meeting does.
We have one workshop item this evening, and now Rich can talk about
Go
that
Rich.
$8,000.
This may sound familiar.
And look, Rosakina has been sitting over there in the corner.
He's here to speak to it. $8,722 for the Parks and Rec grant from the state of Utah. Again, it's an adjustment to an existing
This
grant.
does sound familiar.
Just sound familiar. Second is a $52,000 grant that we received from the state of Utah for EMS equipment for our fire department. And lastly is a request to appropriate $25,000 of insurance proceeds from a demolished PD vehicle toward other PD vehicle
That'll
needs.
cover a PD vehicle.
Which isn't enough.
It's not.
We found that out.
That's the minimum.
We found that out.
That's what we get.
Insurance.
Does anybody have
Won't
any
our
questions?
insurance cover some of that? They just won't even
I mean, you can pay
cover
for
the
that.
gap, so.
So, any other
Work on
questions?
that, Craig.
Are there other considerations this evening?
I do have one brief consideration. I did briefly notify you all, but I felt like the 7 public members who stayed, that Cache County, who has run the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee for the last 15 or so years, has decided to no longer run the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. And so there's currently no Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee in the county. They are hoping someone will fill the void, and they have walked away from it.
Other than they.
Other than they are not doing it anymore, to put it bluntly. And they said, we hope someone fills the void. So I think it's something that we as a council might want to be discussing in the future, but I was not super happy with the decision.
If
but
you would like to discuss it further, perhaps we can put it on council business at some point, maybe the second meeting in October, not the first.
Let's do the first. Yeah, I think it's probably worth a council discussion at some point if there are others who I would agree with that, but I don't know if I have a plan or solution at this point, but
You might by then.
I'll rub my rabbit's foot.
Yeah, get your rabbit's foot.
Figure it out. Yep. But I know you guys know, I just felt like the public should know. I don't think Cache County's publicly
I
notified
have something and
anyone.
Ernesto has something.
This is the only other consideration.
I know I'm not doing it.
I saw you grab
You're
it.
like grabbing it.
I was
You're
like,
grabbing that gavel.
Okay,
Put it down.
Did you want to go first?
Ernesto.
Amy has one too.
Either way. Or Amy, go first.
Oh, I get to go first? All right. I just wanted to remind people that, for those of you who don't know, Tammy Pfeiffer, who was a council member here several years ago, has been working for a long time on an organization called the Dignity Index, which addresses how we handle conflict and disagreement. amongst ourselves and as a community. The whole idea is that we should treat each other with dignity, not with contempt. They are going to hold their first annual conference October 20th, Monday, down in Salt Lake City. I encourage you to look at their website and consider attending to help learn how we can all reduce the heat in our communities and learn how to talk to each other in a way that reflects that we are all human and that we all deserve dignity. So,
Thank you.
I will be attending with you.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm gonna try and attend. Kind of continuing that thought, on September 30th at the Utah Theater, the Chamber of Commerce is hosting an event for all of our Logan City candidates to come and just talk about stuff. And it's called Let's Talk Logan. And it'll be at 7 o'clock at the Utah Theater. And all of our current candidates for council and mayor will be there to have a discussion.
What's 7 o'clock what day?
7 o'clock on September 30th at the Utah Theater.
30th?
30th.
30.
And it's going to be open discussion on maybe 2 or 3 topics. Should be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Ernesto.
If plans hold, the opening social for the Youth Council, an opening meeting for this school year will be a week from today, the 23rd at 3 o'clock. And then I just wanted to thank everyone that was able to join us at the Latino Festival this year. It was the 5th year that has been celebrated on Center Street.
Wow, that was
5 years.
Yeah. Started in 2020 after the library was about to be demolished, because we used to host a festival at the library. I think we had a lot of people there. I don't know what the estimate is for attendance. I'm sure it was more than a couple thousand people there.
I thought there was more people than there has been in the
Yes.
past.
Yeah,
It was very well attended.
Attendance was great. Parade was shorter. We heard of people not wanting to participate for the reasons I shared with you.
It was not quite as enthusiastic as usual, because you'd hear like Puerto Rico and everybody'd like kind of go crazy. You'd do Guatemala.
And at the same time, I've heard from multiple people saying how much it means to them to be able to have a festival like this in our city. And the participation itself, we get people from Idaho that come and participate. We get people from down in the Salt Lake area that come and participate. So it means a lot, not just for Logan, but for people that live within driving distance to Logan. So, yeah.
That's wonderful.
It was great. It's always a big fun party.
And next
really is,
weekend, we're having the Great Pumpkin Festival.
Not this weekend, but next weekend, Center Street Giant Pumpkin Festival. So, yep, we'll be ready to party.
Mine would not win, but it is growing.
It's getting there.
Bang the gavel. Let's do it.
We are adjourned as the Logan City Council, and we are reconvened as the Logan Redevelopment Agency.
More meetings.
We have one item on our agenda. It is a public hearing.
Go Rich.
Kirk handles it. He's been waiting so long. And I was exhausted by this last time.
They were so big.
I was so confused.
Okay, just a brief review of what that is. The intersection at 1250 North, 200 East will be rebuilt, driven obviously by the redevelopment of the Cache Valley Mall. The RDA will contribute $500,000 towards that, the balance being picked up by Public Works. If you remember back a couple years when that project area was created and adopted, part of the project area budget included that $500,000. So it was foreseen and estimated, and right now we're just looking to have that budget amendment passed. So.
Do you have any idea when the construction is intended to start? He left.
Your answer walked away.
Oh.
I get this, I mean, the bids, there's a bid in hand. I would say soon.
Okay. All right.
That helps a little bit. Yes.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Kirk.
No.
This is a public hearing. If there are any members of the public who wish to speak to this, please come forward, state your name, where you live, and take 3 minutes or less.
I think that's great. Are you guys being the light there?
Say if you want to talk. Just
You don't have to, there will be a light.
Yeah, there will be a light there.
Paul? When are you in?
Thought you were going to get away.
We had a question for you and you walked out.
Doors are locked.
When are you anticipating starting construction on 200 East and 1250?
The intersection.
Yes.
There will be some minor construction outside of the roadway this fall. The rest of it will happen next spring.
Oh, you're
That
gonna
is
have,
pretty soon.
you are gonna have such a fun spring.
You don't have any projects on the docket for next year. I think we're going to have to work on that.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
Can we do a roundabout instead?
Okay, are there, and is there
Don't push
anything
him on
else?
that.
We are,
Did we?
No, it's
we didn't
my
vote?
turn, we have to
We got to vote. Wait, did we vote?
Let's go home. Did we
bring
vote?
it back?
Yep.
I'll move approval of resolution 25-40 RDA.
I'll second the motion.
Beat you to it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we are
Now
adjourned.
we're adjourned.
Sorry.
He was all